reason why we are here is Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another.
Amen.
And that is the absolute purpose of not only fellowship, but community, and specifically for this podcast and what we're trying to grow here. So for anybody who needs that kind of fellowship, who needs sharpening, that's what we're here for. Today's topic, which is definitely important because of what we're trying to build, is community, right?
Correct.
So the first kind of subtopic to community is, what is it, right? I guess that's like a good starting point. So Daniel, what is a community?
So to me, a community is obviously it's a group of people, and for us, and especially in the circle of Christianity, a community is, for men specifically, is a group that you can be open with, that you can talk to, and that you can share things with that the world would deem, oh, you're soft, or you're not man enough, or you can't handle this, blah, 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 or something like that, to where they'll kind of belittle your feelings or belittle what you're going through.
Yeah.
But in a Christian community, especially with men, you build each other up, you help each other through those things.
Right.
And that's how I would view a community. I would view it as a group of men who help each other through life biblically. So
okay. Yeah. Dennis, what about you?
No, that was perfect. Yeah. I mean, just, I know a lot now is spoken about safe spaces and things like that, but because there's a lot of stigma, I guess, as far as men sharing their feelings, and to be a real man, you keep everything inside. Don't share what you're feeling, and you can never cry and things like that. And as what happened last night is was powerful,
big time.
And that gives that individual and the rest of us, like you said, a safe space here, to where we can, if we need to break down, but at the same time, lift each other back up.
Correct.
Honestly, not like some friends where we think are, I guess, our community, but will never tell us the truth. They'll never be honest and, hey man, maybe you shouldn't be doing that, or maybe you shouldn't be seeing this person, or, just let you continue doing the same thing. But true community is, honest accountability.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually a really good way to look at it. So when I was thinking about community, and just a couple of notes when I was trying to break down what community is, you think of community, the root word commune, to be together, to perform services together, and then a couple of other words that are very similar, right? Like communion, right? So it's doing things together, and then communication. So if you can't communicate within your community, there's going to be a breakdown. Exactly, right? Like there's just nothing there. And last night I think was a really good example of us being a fellowship together to commune with each other, and giving us access to not only our own feelings but to each other's feelings.
Correct.
And being able to really have an open and honest discussion, and a healthy response to what somebody is feeling, and make sure that they don't kind of fall into bad thought habits, where they kind of get stuck in their own head without being able to let it out. Like one of the biggest things that I've learned, in my own faith, in my own walk, is the longer that you hold on to something, the heavier it gets.
Always.
For real.
And so, and literally, like the immediate letting go of it, you may not have the outcome that you would ideally, in the ideal world, get right there in the moment, right? Immediate satisfaction, gratification, but the lifting of that weight is almost immediate.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man. So,
it is.
Yeah.
And you can see it, like, I know we keep referencing last night. For everybody who doesn't know, last night we had a men's group, and we were all talking about what one of the guys was going through, his relationship stuff and like just work stuff. And once he let it go and once he opened up, he kept flowing out everything that was going on in his life. And we were all able to pitch in somehow, some way, to give him good advice and to lead him to biblical advice, but also help him with practical advice to get through the situation. So to me, I could see the difference and the change from when he came and then when he left. And all glory to God for that, because that's what we're here for,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and I totally agree. So let's widen the scope a little bit. We're talking about community because we are looking at it at a very particular angle, right? Because of our fellowship last night, or the website that we're trying to build and create. But community, from a grander perspective, is like is it the people immediately around you? Is it the people that you do certain things with, right? Like, is your community the people that you go to church with, or is it your neighbors? Is it both, right? Or can you be in different communities at the same time?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Your family's a community.
There
You know, your wife, your kids are your immediate community. Your church is a community.
Yeah.
You know, even depending, I guess, on the relationships you have at work.
Right.
If you're able to, you know, where I work, sometimes we're able to, you know, openly talk about God and church and where do you go, and that might be a small little piece of community.
Yeah.
You know, your men's group, women's group, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
I think they're different levels of community and different forms of community. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's true. There's I mean, also the sense of like online community, or you could have like, it's not always going to be an in-person community. It can be online. Some people are comfortable with that. I agree with it to an extent. I wouldn't say always rely on that portion of community.
Yeah.
It's important to get face-to-face, person-to-person, and talk and like interact with other people, as that opens up. I feel like it opens up different perspectives, and it gives, like, in the moment, opportunities to give your perspective. So, you know, like when you're online, sometimes you can shy away and it's like, I'm not going to say anything today.
Yeah.
But when you're in person and people are like staring at you, like waiting for you to say something, it's kind of different. Yeah. So
No, I
for that,
agree.
yeah.
Agree. Well, that was going to be another question that I was kind of working through too with the community is, can online communities thrive? Right? Like, do you ever see an actual growth? You know,
To
I
a
mean,
certain
everybody's
extent.
got, everybody has.
Because, like you said, to a certain extent, because at any point, I guess, you know, you could shut the TV or shut the laptop down, or you don't like what's being said, just exit or do whatever and stop talking, block.
Right.
And I guess even if you're in person, you can be like, you know, I'm out, just walk out.
Sure.
But it's a little bit harder
Yeah.
when you're actually sitting with people.
Yeah.
You know, if nobody knew, but last night when we were praying, I was actually had my hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, and that little bit of physical touch, even coming in to our meetings, we all hug each other. Just that little bit of physical, it makes it different, in my opinion, than just being on a laptop, a phone, a FaceTime, and just clicking on the computer and talking to somebody, or you know, if like FaceTime, I guess just video chatting. The physical nature, I guess, of a group setting, you know, makes it different.
It does.
You know, true. Where you can actually break down, and you know, you have community online, but if you break down, who's there? Nobody's there.
Right. Who do you get a hold of, right? Who do you
know,
call?
Nobody's there to give you that hug. Nobody's there to, you know, look you in the eye. And, you know, I think that physical level makes it different.
It does. 100%.
Yeah. So how do you measure the success of a community? Like, if you're saying that your community is thriving, how do you measure that success?
I feel like the number one go-to to everybody is the size of the community.
Okay.
But to me, it's more so I would say, like, the group, like, intimacy, or the group, like, how well we all know each other, and then how open we are with each other. Because you can have a massive community. There's a lot of like say a lot of big churches, but I always hear, like, within that community, oh, this is too big for me. I can't talk to anybody, or I can't connect, or something like that. And not to knock big communities or anything like that, because it can happen. You can't have the growth, but when you have a smaller, intimate setting, you have more time to one-on-one get to know people and to grow with them that way. So,
well, I guess that's the difference between having the congregation all together at once, where everybody's fellowshipping in the moment. But if you walk in and you don't say anything more than a hi, good morning, how are you, get to the pew, you know, you maybe hug the person next to you because the preacher told you to, the pastor told you, hey, hug two people and then sit down. Okay, all right. And then you're walking out. You're not hugging them on the way out.
It's not community.
You know, right? You're walking out and there's, okay, back to the car. Let's go get some lunch.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
I never understood that. Not that, you know, and I think a lot of people don't. Not that they're dumb or I was dumb, but we started going back to church, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. There's people, you know, worshiping God, and but you don't really understand why he's up there stressing so much community.
Yeah.
Small groups, small groups, small groups, small groups, small groups. Every week I feel like he says it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because the church is so big.
Yeah.
Now a third campus. There
Yeah.
are still people I look at, I'm like, I've never seen you before. They've never seen me, and I walk
Right.
around the whole church, like,
Right.
and it's the small groups,
Yeah.
because even in a giant church,
Yeah.
with thousands of people, you could still be lost.
True.
You could still walk in the house of God and feel lost.
Yeah.
Because you haven't connected with anybody.
Right.
Bro.
You have nobody to share your experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that reminds me of sorry.
No,
that reminds me of this. It's I wrote this down. It's Acts 2:42. It's all the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching. They had fellowship, shared meals, and sold things to help those in need. So like they would do that in small settings because they would meet in each other's houses. Back then they didn't have big mansions with thousands of people in it. They had a house, maybe 10 people or so,
Right.
and they would meet and talk and do those things. They would fellowship with each other, and that's the piggyback off what you said. That's the importance of community. That's like the small group to get to know each other in that setting and help each other through life. So that's
even
go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, even like these conferences, they have women's conference, and where they're there, it's you break out. I just did the culture conference. It's not just a conference. Then you break away.
Yeah.
And discuss things in a smaller setting. It's more personal, and that's the whole point. Small groups.
Well, I think it's interesting though, if you look at when we're reading scripture, and you have to consider their world was so much smaller than our world was, right? Like they would fellowship with their neighbor because they live by the same family or the same tribe for the last, their generations have known each other for generations, right?
Think about that.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
We live in a world where I rarely ever see my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? So back then I would hope, or at least from, within the context of it, you read it and say, okay, it's probably easier to have a community because you're kind of forced, right? You can't really go anywhere. You know what I mean? And your family grows up there, and your inheritance is there, and you're not. It's very unlikely that you would move anywhere else. I think I was watching a show just yesterday, and it said 100 years ago, most people didn't move more than 50 miles away from the place they were born. They didn't move anywhere, right? Like it just didn't happen. Now we can get anywhere at any time. You know what I'm saying? So having community then is different.
And with that, like how it was then, smaller communities where they were always close to each other, and now people think that, or we hear with the social media and all these different things, like, oh, you have access to be with everybody, you can talk to anybody, but like it's the age of people being locked in their room and staying away from everybody, and it's kind of crazy to see the flip side of that. Like we have all the access in the world, yet we don't take advantage of it, or we feel like it's too much. Or
well, back then too, I mean, survival depended.
True.
It wasn't just to break bread and, hey, what's going on, how are you. It was literal survival. And I think that's also why they didn't move too far. They just stood within closer proximity with each other, and because you needed your neighbor. I don't need, honestly, without being sounding mean,
right.
I don't need my neighbor for anything now.
Right.
Yeah.
We have, like you said, I can order anything. You can DoorDash anything. You can Uber Eats anything. You can Walmart, Amazon. There's nothing that I need to go and rely on my neighbor for. My neighbor doesn't need to come and rely on me for anything.
Exactly. We don't do the, can I go borrow a cup of
there's
sugar
no
real quick?
connection. Yeah, there's no, granted, everybody on my street kind of takes care of each other, but
that's good.
In reality, like we have to, it's almost like we have to force ourselves to do it. It has to be intentional.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was just thinking about the same thing. Back then, you had goats and you want chicken wings for dinner. You had to find somebody with chickens to have them. You know what I mean? Like you didn't.
Y'all want to share these?
Yeah, right. Like I'll trade with you this when I have that. So you just knew people nearer to you. Where the world that we live in is just the complete opposite. It's like it's the age of, like you said, you have access to everything, and you're more isolated. Or I think people are more isolated now than they've ever been.
Yeah,
100%.
It's just crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
That's why mental health is just. Well, you're stuck on the phone. You're not out engaged. I think I'm not a psychiatrist, but it's just from what I see with kids and even young adults, you're not outside engaging with people.
Right.
That's the big problem.
You go to work, you sit behind a computer in a little cubicle.
Right.
You go home and you sit behind another computer all day.
Yeah.
Dude, one thing that I started doing is when I go out to talk to people about God, and all that. Like or even if I with my family, I would see somebody like with their family, like walking or trying to take a picture. I'm like, oh, can I take a picture for you? And you see their faces light up, but that little bit of interaction, like it changes the day. Like it feels different, and it takes away like, because I guess that's more weird to do now. Is like to just talk to a stranger, but like it feels good to to just have that little small interaction. It's like, oh, can I help you out with this?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
everybody's always receptive.
Yeah, so. It's just a big difference, man.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that we need to consider. I mean, I was just as I was driving here at the park near our house in Deltona, they're having the Celtic Fest today. And I'm thinking, I'm driving here thinking about what are we gonna talk about while we're here, and I'm like, I could just as easily, take my family and go to where my local community is doing something together. I may not run into anybody, but you never. That's an opportunity to meet new people, to meet people who are more local. It's like, hey, my son playing with your son, right? So why don't we get together and meet up, or hey, let's meet at the park sometime in the future. You miss those opportunities where you don't if you don't put yourself out there, you're not gonna give yourself the opportunity to see that.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Side note though, that's why I'm glad that the Friendsgiving thing, and didn't know Noel lived that close. I had no idea you lived that close.
Right.
Literally within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But again, make it intentional.
Yeah.
That's why I said let's bring the wives.
Yeah.
It makes things, when we later on in the future talk about stuff, it makes it a little bit more personal. Now you guys can, see the family and know, we can kind of get to know the wives and the family and the kids, and make the community a little bit stronger.
It's true. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So they're talking about community. One thing that was kind of reading scripture specifically for like who and where and when were the community. And one thing I came across is back in Genesis with Abram, when he's called to leave his inheritance and leave his land. He didn't leave by himself. He brought his community with him. And I think that's something that we can't do. If I were to move and take my family to Georgia, right? My family's coming with me, my little community, right? The four of us. But we move and it's a whole new setting of different people. How do you navigate that?
That's tough.
It's like starting over.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It's like starting over. I mean, you still have your online community. You can have what you left behind online, but it's like starting over.
That's
church, everything.
I was about to say, because when you think of it, like the church is the body of Christ, and we should all welcome each other with open arms and be like that. But I feel like in today's day, it's a little hard because you go into a church with like a guard up and like, oh, are they preaching sound doctrine? Are they good people? Or you have all these different like analytics going on in your head trying to figure everything out. But when we walk into a church, like if you were to move to a new place, that would be the first place to start for a new community. It's like, oh, let me find a good church that I can get connected with and talk to somebody. Don't just walk in and out. I try to talk to some people in there, see what it's like. That would probably be the first step of navigating that. But it does suck. Like you can't bring your tribe with you, like when if you get up and move somewhere, like you're not bringing everybody with you. You're going you and your family. Like you guys are
the small group.
Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, I think that makes having a strong online community that you can hang on to even that much more important. Where you can use that as the foundation to grow it wherever you end up. If you do move somewhere new city, new state, regardless, right? Like if you have to go and find a new church, you're already branching out and seeking community, because you do need that. Like we should rely on people who are closer to us, even for the small things. We should have more reliance on those, because it leaves us less isolated to our own little bubble, being able to pull away from that.
And that's rough though. Still, I just keep thinking about the starting over because I could see like some people depression and sadness, and if you don't like really get it together and focused and intentional, then you're just gonna be right back in isolation again. Like, oh, I'm just gonna give up and can't seem to find a person or a church or whatever. Then you're right back to isolation.
I feel like if it gets to that point, it's easy to fall back into old habits or to the ways that you potentially used to live, and like, because it's
that part.
It's easier to find that community.
Yeah.
Because
always find it.
You know what I mean? It's always there, but
it's easier to find, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Any nightclub, any bar.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You could find that in an instant. Mm-hmm. That's the easiest thing, is to find the sin, but it's the opposite is hard.
Yeah.
It sucks that it's like that. If you think about it, it's like it should be the opposite of that. It should be more welcoming to walk into, like, or to find a church community and be plugged in right away, and everybody's real welcoming and nice. But I was talking to this guy the other day. I was like interviewing him about, you know, his beliefs and stuff, and he was telling me, he's like, oh, you know, I've met so many Christian people who are so hypocritical, but then I go to a bar and I meet somebody who's so open and nice to me right away, and I'm like, dang, dude, that hurts. That sucks. Like that he has that mentality to where, like, he would rather go be with the world because of how some people may have treated him in the church or whatnot.
And we're the ones that preach, hey, humility and you know, accepting everybody, and then that's his experience with wherever he went. I mean, I don't know where he went or what he was doing, but that's his perception.
Of every, and then that
of all of it.
Exactly, I was about to say, literally, right? Like, so anytime somebody tries to approach him, it says,
"Oh,
hey,
Christian,
you know,
you're a hypocrite."
That's it, right?
Like, no. Wait a minute.
Let me at least talk to you.
That was that guy. That wasn't me.
Right.
Like, get to know me first.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are closed off, man. But again, it's harder to find a good community that, you know, that is based in scripture and faith, and that wants to open their community. Because I mean, you could also run into a community they have a strong foundation, but they're not trying to open their doors to anybody because they're afraid of losing that foundation. You know,
smaller churches I met,
yeah,
I would think, that would happen.
I'd be worried about that too. So you know, you try to make your way in, and you just get closed out. That can cause church hurt too. You know, especially somewhere if you're new to an area, and you're trying to find a new church, a new home, whatever the case is, and you get shut out. That's rough. That's rough. So, but again, finding an online community, at least for something, is better. Something is always better than nothing, in my opinion. You know, you find one good person at the grocery store that lives locally, cool. You can at least start there. You know, what church they go to. You know, but isolation is probably the worst thing for mental health, or maybe not the worst thing, but it's definitely
one of the worst things. I mean, why do you think, you know?
I don't even know percentages, but
I would say, like,
I have to start looking this up.
But even like in a prison setting, you know, what do they do when you do something really bad? They put you in isolation. You know, you're there by yourself because it can drive you mentally crazy. So,
but going back, it takes the person to actually make, well, either one or the other, to make a move and either invite this individual. Hey, there's a new guy in the neighborhood. You know, you see him mowing his grass, whatever. Get his mail. Hey, introduce yourself. Hey, you guys go to church? You guys, you know. Or it takes that individual to initiate too. Hey, I'm new around here. What's going on? You know, what church do you go? Do you go to church? I feel like a lot of people don't really do that.
Kind of make the effort. Right?
No, that's true.
Yeah,
you know, they just see other people and they're like, just keep walking by, mind my business, and
that's the mentality. Let me mind my business, but like, instead of being neighborly,
I don't get too many conversations. In the store. You know, I don't get too many conversations outside of like maybe church or you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to turn back time 50 years ago, everybody who went to the same supermarket all knew each other because they all lived in the exact same place. So they're meeting up in the supermarket. Like, hey, how's little Johnny doing?
Exactly.
You don't see that anymore. 1,000 people walk by you in the store, and not one will even make eye contact with you, let alone.
Crazy. You have the headphones in.
You got the headphones in, right? They're not trying to have.
When was the last time you went to Walmart and recognized somebody from the last time you went to Walmart?
Never. Oh, never. Right?
See, you know?
Yeah, right. No way. Dude, it's crazy. I grew up, so east side of Orlando. I hadn't moved until my wife and I moved, once or twice until where we are where we're at now. But even living where I had lived for the last 8-10 years as an adult, I don't think I ran into anybody that I went to school with, middle school, high school. Like, they're just not there anymore. It's like, where's everybody at?
Where'd
they
go?
There's so many people. You know, you just don't run to people. So it makes it rough.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it hard. So even in the local setting, it's still hard to get plugged in, but you have to make the effort.
Intentionality.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I try to be friendly to everybody. Whether you're serving me, I'll, Dunkin' Donuts or a restaurant.
Right.
You know, I always try to talk and just joke and make you laugh, and we'll talk to each other, and it's not just All right, here you go, and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just
That could be that one act of kindness they get the whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you know what? It wasn't. It's very rarely the shirt. I do get compliments on the shirt.
Yeah.
I was going back to the shirt because it just hit me.
Yeah.
But you know what it is, and I get a lot of questions about the bracelet.
Really?
The Pray First bracelet
Okay.
with the journey,
Yeah.
and sometimes it'll be this way, and they'll be like, "Oh, you go to Journey," and I'm like, "Oh, you saw that? You noticed that?
How close were you looking?"
I'm like, wow. Or it'll say Pray First. It'll be flipped.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Oh, I really love your bracelet."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And I'm like, "Oh, this one?"
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Yeah, the Pray First."
Uh-huh.
And then we'll start talking about church. It's like, "Oh, well, thank you. You go to church?"
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I do, or I don't, or whatever. And yeah,
That's awesome.
It's the bracelet. Something as small as a bracelet.
I like that.
So here's a note for the day: get a bracelet.
Get a bracelet. Yeah. Pick one up, right?
Journey Church, Fern Park, corner of 1792 and Cimarron Boulevard. Used to be the old Highlight building. Shameless plug.
Yeah, right? There you go. Yeah. I mean, I think that makes a difference.
But it's something simple as that people, and I don't necessarily know if they actually love it. It's a black piece of rubber with some white letters.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's be honest.
Right.
You know,
It's
made
words,
God knows where for pennies. But it might be the words, what it says, or it might be that people just want to interact with other people.
I like
and
that.
Maybe, you know, oh, you got to Pray First bracelet. Maybe he goes to church.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, I love your bracelet. You know, do you go to church? This and that.
Right.
Just to kind of see, I don't know, maybe conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a way for them to be subtly asking for prayer.
That too.
You never know.
Yeah. They're seeking something. You know, enough to come out of their own little bubble of their shopping list where they can say, "Hey, I noticed that. Let me interact with this person." You know, that's cool. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, and just little things like that. So, I think that's actually probably a good idea. I don't own one shirt that has anything like that on it. I have the hat, so I have to wear it more often. I think that's what it is. That'll be the difference.
See, we'll test it out.
Yeah, right.
The next time we record again, we have to have a story.
Yeah. We all wear something.
The baby Jesus is where it hit too for Christmas.
Right.
Everybody in my office has one.
Dude, people in my office have one too. Somebody gave it to me. They're like, "Oh, this looks like Danny." And I was like, "Is that Jesus?" Oh, okay.
There's a couple people that they're like lined up.
That's crazy.
Like multiple, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, how did that blow up so big?
I have no idea.
You were the first person.
I don't even know where it came from.
Right.
The only time I've ever seen it was when Pastor JJ was standing up and he used it as part of his sermon. I don't even remember what the sermon was, but he's like, crazy. I went to go grab a shirt and my wife was like, "Why don't you wear this one?" And I think he was struggling with something, the sermon, or, you know, preaching it, not preaching that one. And he's like, "I went to put the shirt on." He goes, "And what did I find in there?" And he pulls it out. And I'm like,
"This is the one."
I'm like, "What is that?" When the camera zoomed in, he's like, "And I found a little baby Jesus." He goes, if I'm not mistaken, he does not know where it came from.
Right.
That's awesome.
It just mysteriously started showing up.
That's funny.
And
that's crazy.
And then I'm like, for Christmas, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get some baby Jesus. Ordered 50, got 100.
That's crazy.
I had no idea. I ordered 2, but I'm like, all right, cool. Then I'm gonna start handing these out.
Literally, yeah, I remember that.
Somebody saw it on my desk. Can I get one? Can I get one in it? Yeah, absolutely. Here you go.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I got 100.
Gave a bunch away. Yeah, I might do that again. Just
it's not a bad idea, right? Yeah. Little things like that.
Little things.
Doing like little things like
you know, counter people, just little conversations.
You can, right, like little stickers or like little figurine, Jesus, but anything like that, right? That gets people's attention enough to, if they are seeking fellowship and they see that you have it on you, it like draws them in.
It does,
easier,
right?
Yeah. Open the door to that conversation too.
Yeah, it's just a different version of what people already do. Like if you see somebody with cool sneakers on, you're like, "Oh, I like your sneakers."
Yeah.
That's a conversation right there.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just
true.
a different angle, right? Different subject matter. You know. So
all the time with my tattoos. I'm like, thank you.
See, yeah.
Get it from behind. I love your tattoo, and I'm like,
which one?
My calves. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm like, well, why not get some shirts, man? You know,
some similar.
See if that sparks up a different conversation.
Yeah. Right. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So I mean, I think when you are looking for community. I think because obviously we're all the same like-mindedness, right? Like we're looking for a community that is Christian-based, that is, that speaks the gospel, understands it, that's not trying to stray people away, lead people away. For people who maybe aren't looking for that just yet or don't know if they're looking for that, what should they be looking for in a community?
Honesty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honesty, no judgment as far as when they open up. Like if they say something that's kind of left field, like don't judge them on it, but help them through it.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want to feel condemned, and then I'll never open up again. You know what I mean? Exactly. So like being able to open up freely and get sound advice.
I like that.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. I take when you say like left field or like I don't know, like maybe the no judgment is. I take it as maybe like somebody judging them for a particular sin that they're, right? Is that okay? Yeah. So that particular sin that they're kind of just need help with, whether it's drinking or drugs or pornography, or maybe even infidelity or whatever. Not to judge that person because you're judging somebody for a particular sin, but in the meantime, you might still be doing something that in your head you might maybe downgrade. It's not as bad as infidelity, or it's not as bad. It's still a sin. You're still sinning.
Correct.
I don't think there's. Other than like murder. Things like that. But sin is still sin.
Yes.
In God's eyes.
Yep.
Whether you're not doing either way, you're not doing whatever God has commanded us to do.
Yeah.
There's certain rules. There's things that we have to abide by as men of God, as followers of Jesus. If we say we follow Jesus, well, then that encompasses everything. It's not cherry picking. Well,
to solidify that, I think it's James 2:10. It says, "He who commits one sin is as guilty as him who did all of them." So, like, no matter what,
sin is a sin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but not to judge other people for it.
Correct.
None of us are perfect.
No, right? None of us are perfect.
And somebody being willing to open up and be vulnerable to you, wherever it's at, right? Like if you're, at work or wherever, you take that opportunity and have a conversation without judgment. Allow them to speak and allow them to, I struggled recently. Somebody was having a kind of a breakdown at work, and it was pretty serious. And I'm not the best person, admittedly, for like, I don't want to say compassion because I have compassion, but like being able to show it, right? Consoling somebody, like it's just not
smiling enough.
Yeah, right. I don't smile enough. That's what it is. But
we get shirts.
Yeah, this is my smile.
This is my smile.
But I didn't console him in the moment. But I realized afterwards, like, I felt convicted for not doing more for him. I was like, I should have. And I know that he wasn't a believer, so I didn't. My first instinct wasn't like, "Hey, can I pray for you?" You know what I mean? Because I don't want to kind of turn him off. But I should have at least, "Hey, can I, like, you need to step out and let's like talk and get some fresh air or something?" Like, I didn't do that for him, and so I felt conviction afterwards. And it's like little moments like that people, we don't know what people are dealing with, and when they are willing to open up about it, we have to be receptive to it.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick up on that stuff too. Like sometimes
there's that too.
Yeah.
To do it in the moment. You're just like, okay,
right.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then you think about it, you're like, oh, man,
they probably wanted help.
I could have done so much different.
Yeah.
But
that's a learning moment too, because if someone does like come to you for some type of help and we don't open up in the moment to talk to them or give them that opportunity to even go even further, that's something we could learn from for the next time too. And that's happened to me as well. I've had coworkers talk to me about certain things, and then I kind of let it go. But I'm like, oh, I should have said something. And I'll tell them, hey, you want to talk?
Right.
And it helps. It does help a lot.
So. Yeah. Giving people the freedom to open up to you.
Yeah.
And it just gives them, it shows them a little bit more in you than they thought that they knew before. Right. So that the next time that they feel like they need to open up to somebody, they can't open up to you. Maybe that next time is a more opportune moment to say, hey, well, I know what your beliefs are, but I truly believe in the power of prayer, and I think that this is a good moment that I would like to pray for you. Like my spirit's telling me I can pray for you. Is that okay? And sit and just pray over them. And if you can't pray over them in person, you pray over them in private. Because either way, prayer's answered.
May also give that person an opportunity, like you said, a different perspective as to who you are, and maybe not wait to ask for help. Like maybe not wait till the last minute. It's like, oh man, I know Danny might be more receptive. Maybe pull you aside. Hey man, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
And before it gets like out of control, or
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a pretty good closing.
Yeah.
For our first one. I mean, I think this was a great conversation with you guys. I appreciate it. We'll do this, next time and have something else to talk about for sure. Maybe have some more stories about wearing cool shirts. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, this was great, man. Thanks,
I'm gonna
guys.
find a shirt. I'm gonna find them and wear them just for Jared.
We gotta do it.
This is me smiling.
This is my smile.
Right. Like the Joker smile. Something like really.
Oh no, not that smile.
This was good though.
But yeah, man, this was awesome. Everybody who's watching, we appreciate it. If you guys want to hear more of this content, go ahead and drop a like or a comment or something below. If you're listening on a streaming platform, you can find us on YouTube and Instagram. So,
all right. Proverbs 27:17. The reason why we are here is Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another.
Amen.
And that is the absolute purpose of not only fellowship, but community, and specifically for this podcast and what we're trying to grow here. So for anybody who needs that kind of fellowship, who needs sharpening, that's what we're here for.
Amen.
God bless everybody. All right.
See ya.